The Exynos 2600 is looking more and more like a real contender for Samsung's upcoming Galaxy S26 series. After all the uncertainty surrounding whether Samsung would continue using its in-house Exynos chips or stick entirely with Qualcomm's Snapdragon, it seems the tide is shifting in favor of Exynos making a return next year. Initially, there were rumors that the Galaxy S26 series might be powered solely by Snapdragon chips, following the strategy used in the Galaxy S25 series. But now, fresh reports indicate that Samsung is making solid progress in bringing the Exynos 2600 to life. It all hinges on whether Samsung Foundry can deliver the performance and manufacturing yields required for a next-gen smartphone processor built on a cutting-edge 2nm process. One of the main reasons Samsung couldn't use the Exynos 2500 in the Galaxy S25 series was due to low yields on its 3nm process. Simply put, Samsung wasn't able to produce enough chips at the right quality and volume. That forced the company to rely exclusively on Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy, also known as the Snapdragon 8 Elite. And those chips were fabricated by TSMC, Qualcomm's manufacturing partner. But now, Samsung Foundry appears to be turning things around. Recent reports from Korean media suggest that the company has made notable progress in improving yields on its 2nm process. Currently, the yields are said to be in the 40 to 50% range. That might not sound perfect, but in semiconductor manufacturing, that's a major step forward. To put that into context, when process yields reach around 60%, it's generally considered good enough for mass production, with Samsung targeting mass production of the Exynos 2600 by November 2025, there's still time to optimize and improve yields even further. If that happens, Samsung could finally meet the production demands required for its flagship Galaxy phones and reintroduce Exynos chips at scale. Meanwhile, TSMC is already ahead in this game. Its 2nm yields have reportedly crossed the 60% mark, giving it the green light for large-scale production. That's why Qualcomm continues to stick with TSMC for its Snapdragon chips, including the high-performance Snapdragon 8 Elite that powers the Galaxy S25 series. So, while Samsung's Foundry is making progress, it's still slightly behind TSMC. The real question now is whether Samsung will decide to return to a dual-chip strategy, offering Exynos chips in some markets and Snapdragon in others, or go all in on one processor globally. Based on a recent report, Samsung may continue with a regional approach, just like it did in the past. The Exynos-powered version of the Galaxy S26 may only launch in Europe, while other regions like North America and Asia may get the Snapdragon variant. This isn't new. Samsung used a similar strategy with the Galaxy S22 series, and users in Europe have traditionally received Exynos-powered devices. This approach allows Samsung to hedge its bets. If the Exynos 2600 performs well and meets expectations, Samsung can scale its use further. But if there are still concerns around performance, efficiency, or yields, the company can rely on Snapdragon chips for the rest of the world. Still, this is a big moment for Samsung's semiconductor division. The success or failure of the Exynos 2600 will be a key milestone in determining the future of Samsung's in-house chip development. If Samsung can truly get its 2nm process yields up to mass production levels in time, and if the Exynos 2600 delivers strong performance, then we might see a full comeback of Exynos chips in flagship devices. But if there are delays or performance issues, it could further cement Qualcomm's role as the go-to chip supplier for Samsung's high-end phones. The stakes are high, and it's not just about performance. Manufacturing capability and yield efficiency will decide how competitive Samsung Foundry can be against TSMC, not just for Galaxy devices, but also for attracting other clients in the future. In short, all eyes are now on how well Samsung can execute in the coming months. The Exynos 2600 is no longer just a rumor. It's quickly becoming a reality. And if everything goes according to plan, the Galaxy S26 series might mark the true return of Exynos to the global flagship stage.